So my topic is how to build agritourism as a real estate firm. So I believe most of us here are connected in one way or the other to real estate. So basically, and I've had some chat with some people who said they are really looking forward to this session, how they can maximize their land, okay? And that's basically my assignment, and I hope that by the end of this class, I will have been able to do justice to it, and then you will have gotten value. I am passionate about money making. So any topic that is relating to money making is something that excites me. So basically my job here is to help you see how you can make more money with that your land or your estate. Okay? So let's start. That's my handsome face. What is agritourism? Agritourism basically is anyhow you are able to attract people to your agribusiness, maybe for tour, for participation in that your agribusiness, or for workshop, or for any activity that you do within your agribusiness that attracts people regularly, weekly, monthly, daily, depending on how you structure it. That simply is agritourism. Everybody understand what tourism is, and everybody understand what agric is. So agritourism is combining tourism, but now in the context of agriculture. So when people are coming to your agribusiness, for tour purpose or whatever purpose, if well and properly established, I can guarantee you that your agritourism will increase your inflow significantly. Okay, so how is real estate developers currently doing agritourism? But I'm going to be talking from context of Nigeria. Developers, basically what they do is they buy large land. I'm talking about how developers currently practice agritourism. They buy a large land, usually in the rural area or in the region where there is a particular agri commodity, or what I'll call an agri hub. Okay, let's say there's a cocoa hub or a palm oil hub. So they buy large expanse of land in such hubs, and then they invite people, usually people in the bigger cities or people in the diaspora, to come and buy into those lands. Okay, so the people pay for the land. But aside paying for the land, they also get them to pay extra money for helping them to develop the land, maybe for planting. Let's take, for example, cocoa. So they are paying for the land. Secondly, the agric farm will tell them, oh, we can also help you plant. This place is a cocoa hub, so we can help you plant cocoa on that land. So they charge them. They charge them also for maintaining that plantation regularly, yearly, up until the point of harvest. Okay. After that, they also charge them for buying the commodity. They can offer that, okay, I'm going to buy this commodity from, and I'm going to help you sell. So you see the layers of income that they are playing around. They are making money from the land. They are making money from services offered on the land. They are making money from helping the owner of the plantation to sell his harvest. Okay? From my findings, that's how, so far, real estate developers have been practicing agritourism. And honestly, as simple as what I just defined is, these guys are making big money. Very, very big money, doing just what I just described to you right now. Okay, and I know somebody, particularly in Ogbomoso, that's in southwestern Nigeria. I knew his story, how he moved from nothing to be a massive millionaire now by doing what I just described to you. And now he has even gone beyond that. He's now developing housing estates properly. But he started with this model I just described. Okay. And honestly, he made very, very good money. Those developers were leaving lots of money on the table. Okay. And my duty here is to let you see those areas they are leaving money on the table. I know most of us have lots of empty land. Okay. So what do you do? Those land development might not come on them in the next many years. I know about real estate. When I first came to Lagos in my early years, I used to market for developers along those Mowe axis. Then all those places were pure bushes. I think the major structures there were Redemption Camp, all those churches. But now, so we used to market. So I have an understanding of the fact that most times those land can take years for proper development to come into it. So what do you do while you're waiting? You can decide to engage in your agritourism on those land. You study what are the commodities that are common here. We're going to be talking about it much later. So let me not jump ahead of me. You are leaving money on the table despite how beautiful that is. And I just painted an example of somebody who I know who is really doing very well for himself now, just by buying the land and then planting for people and selling for them. What other things does agritourism involve that these developers are not engaging in? So that when you are starting your own, you are going to start it at a very, so you can make all the money, all the other money that they are not making, you can make all the money along the value chain. Agritourism also includes hospitality, recreation, and retreat models. Like I said earlier, most people who visit those agribusinesses come from cities and diaspora. So most times, many of them might not be able to go back to where they come from. Okay? So why not cash in that money? Create what I call a 5-star lodging or accommodation within that. They stay while they are, if it's for agri purpose they came for, while they are having their agri experience, they are paying for your hotel such that they won't miss the city. You can just create an accommodation for them that will make them feel at home. And one advantage is that they are enjoying what they are not having in the city. All the noise and pollution in the cities is not here. They are having a serene environment. I've always wanted something like this. It's something I would love to. I think the Western world appreciate this more. Just go somewhere you are, you know. Some people are not even interested in your agri or land, but they are maybe creatives, okay, writers who just want to, just get away and be mentally productive. Okay, I want you to begin to conceive ideas as I'm talking. Okay, so just imagine when somebody knows, there's an estate somewhere I can just get away. He probably wants to write a book or write a song or write something, and he wants somewhere serene, and very beautiful. So that is another way. I'll be sharing many models. So I want you to be looking at your individual estates and see which of those models really you can implement on your own. Okay, you might need to implement 2 or more or all of it depending on the capacity that you have. But just imagine how beautiful it will be. Okay, if they are making noise, you won't be affected because you are having, so the next thing, agritourism, this one is probably common, is farm markets. It's simply bringing the farm to the people. Okay, there are some people who want to buy at farm gates. They will tell you it's fresher. You women will understand me better. Okay, some will say it's cheaper, So you can have your farm markets. Remember, we say agritourism is whatever activity you are doing that's bringing people into that estate. So you can have your farm market where you sell harvest from your farm, whatever you are producing fresh. They know they can get it fresh and they can get it cheaper. Okay, people will come from far and near to come and patronize you. So that's something you can inculcate into your estate. It also includes educational structures. I'm sure for most of us, most of our children might not even know. Some might think that yams are grown on trees. Don't be surprised. It might look funny, but so you can have educational. People can come for IT. Okay, I knew I did my IT in somewhere in a place like this. Okay, people can come for IT. People can come for workshops. People can come for training. Schools can bring their children to come and visit farms. You know, it's your choice. Just look at what model can work for you. Because you have lots of activities going on. So people might decide schools can come and do a lot of so all that is still agritourism. Okay, the next one, you can have an entertainment structure in your estates. So you can have an entertainment, where people come for parties. They come for party, they do hikings, they do shows, and they patronize your restaurants. We'll talk about restaurant later. They patronize your bars or whatever. you know Remember, we are saying all the money that you have been leaving on the table. So if you have been implementing some of these things, I'm sure most of your estates will be cash cows by now. Okay, people can come from far and wide and come and do weekends. They just come for parties, come for bonfire night. You can have an agro processing zone within that estate. You can process your own products from those agri processing firms and supply malls and big superstores, you know. And then secondly, you can also lease out your agro processing facilities to other processors. I'll give a very simple example. Let's assume you have a standard industrial gari processing facility on your estate, and you are sure that there are lots of cassava plantations around there. There are companies who are into gari who won't bother. They will just come, buy cassava around, process from they seal it. You can process it to the last. They just put their own label and go away with it. Okay, but the money is yours. So you can have an agro processing zone within your estates. You can also have warehousing facilities in your estate. Okay, I did a video on YouTube. I have a video channel, by the way, at Olumide Akintayo. You can check it out for more content. So I did a video on how people can make money from agri warehousing. Okay, and I gave a challenge in that video. I said agri warehousing pays far more than rental properties. I know because I have both. I have houses that people pay rent for, and I have warehouse, and I know which one pays more. Okay, and then come to think about it, the facility, the amount you use to set up a residential accommodation is far higher than what you spend on warehouse. Warehouse is just the roof, the walls, good floor, and so on. But you earn far more. So let's assume is a cocoa hub. Okay, people can just decide that they are buying those cocoa when they are cheaper, and they warehouse with you and they pay. I know warehouses where they charge people per square meters. Okay, you are paying. So you are paid depending on the square meter that your load takes is what you pay, and you pay daily. Okay, so you can have a structure where people bring their commodities, you warehouse it for them till when they are ready to sell. Okay, and then they are paying you. I hope you have been creating pictures. I just want to share some other components within that you can have within your agritourism estates that I have not mentioned so far. Your estates will have an integration of plants and animal business. But more importantly, you can do better. If you bring an improved technology into your estates, it even attracts something that, let's say you brought a dairy, an improved variety of cow from maybe somewhere outside as producing higher yield than the one that you have in your locality. It's that's so going to be something some people will want to come and see. Okay, so set up your agri business in such a way that it's going to be something unique. But at worst, let it be that it's a commodity that's that can attract people's attention. You understand? Something that can attract people's attention. Okay? So you have your integrated farming system on the land. Then another component you can have within your agrotourism estates is a restaurant. We've spoken about that. Okay, we said when people come for parties on your estates, they can they can patronize, and that restaurant, everything that is going into that restaurant is coming from your farm. Your maintenance workshop, because I believe you have a picture now. There's lots of activity going on. You probably have people who are in charge of the electricity, your utility guys. Okay, you are going to have a structure for that. You're going to have a clinic, because while people are touring your farm, they might get scratched, so they might need a. Okay, you're going to have that. You're going to have a security post. Remember, we are saying with all the things we have painted now, security is going to be key. One of the reasons I'll come to your agri-tour site is when I'm sure that you have adequate security in place. Okay, because it's usually at the outskirts of town, so you want to be sure that you have something solid. Okay, you have water system, among other things that we've discussed earlier. Advantage of integrating an agri-tourism structure into your estates. I believe from what we have shared now, people should be able to join me in doing this talk. What are the advantages? Number one, you prevent land dormancy. So because there's going to be daily activities, and your land cannot be dormant. The next point I have here is that you generate daily revenue from goods, services offered, like we have stated earlier. So aside the land, you are generating more revenue from all the other avenues that we've listed earlier. Okay, so you won't even be disturbing your mother company for money again, because you are self-sustaining from what you are generating. You'll probably be sending money to headquarters and saying, yeah, let's help you people. You create jobs. So I wrote here that agriculture is Africans' advantage that is yet to be maximized. That's our major advantage. The world's arable land is in Africa. The world's youth population is in Africa. So we just have to embrace agriculture because it's our advantage. One of the things that excited me about, that drew me to agriculture, was that I'm passionate about job creation. And agriculture is the opportunity. Everybody can have relevance within agriculture, no matter your discipline. An accountant will have relevance in agriculture. An engineer will have relevance in agriculture. Name it. There's no area of discipline that you have that you cannot discover yourself within the agri ecosystem. If you organize your agritourism well, you will be creating multi-layers of jobs, like the accommodation we spoke earlier. When people come for a tour, they stay there. You have people who manage that hotel or accommodation. All those people within that value chain, the receptionists, the trainers, when people are coming for education, you have trainers. Okay, I'm going to talk later about that training. You have farm hands, farm assistants, you have all that. Number four is that you force development on the land and the neighborhood. There's no way, when there's regular activity, the development rates will be very, very fast in that space. And then the value of the land will also rise up very, very fast compared to if you have left it just dormant. Okay, those are some of the advantages. Some examples of agritourism around us. Around us here, I mean Nigeria. So if you are not from Nigeria, you can use the idea My parting notes, I had to put this because some of the mistakes I've seen people make within the agri space, that's why I call it my parting notes. Number one, agriculture is seasonal and must be respected and treated as such. If it's time to put fertilizer, you can't wait. For maize, for example, you apply fertilizer 2 times. If you miss one or you delay it, it's going to tell on your yield. Okay, so it's one in discipline that requires proper planning. You want to plan well for each phase and make proper provision, because these are some of the areas where people make mistakes and they get frustrated by agriculture. Okay, so remember, the reason people are coming to your estate is because you have agricultural activity. So it's something that requires proper planning. Number two is that treat agriculture as a business. I believe most of us have had, do your research, do your visibility study, do treat it as a business. It's one weakness people have in this side of Africa, because our ancestors used to practice agriculture anyhow. So most of us feel originally that we have it in us. Okay, and that's why we are not making money. I've said it earlier, I make some crazy money in my industry. I don't like discussing it. Okay, so there are so many ways we are leaving money on the table if you practice it the way it's supposed to be practiced. I put number three here: start your agribusiness with a model company. I know Dr. Stephen always talks about mentoring and all that, so that should cover it. See, before you start, visit. That's why I gave some example there. Just visit, because agritourism is being practiced. You can go on your own tour, so you can conceive ideas. There's something about when you see things, you know so visit. Don't just sit down and plan what we have discussed, that because you were here now you can just sit down and plan one. Visit. That's why I gave example. If you are within Nigeria, go to ITA. If you can go to Port Novo, visit. There's something I know my pastor will always tell you. Before he started university, he studied 20 world-class universities. Okay, and he tried to visit some of them. It does something for you. And somewhere he was teaching, he said one of the universities, they visited each department. I heard that from his mother. He went with his team, and they were studying each department. How is this done? How is that done? You know, one of the advantage of having a model is that it dwarfs your failure rate. All the opportunities that you have used to fail, you will escape those parts and just go to the success, because he has failed so that you don't need to fail. Okay, if I want to get churchy, you are entering into their work. You are just stepping into their work. I think somewhere in the Bible is stated like that you enter into their work. They have done the work, and then you just enter into it, and you are enjoying the dividends. So please, before you do it for your estate, maybe you organize a tour, for all the CEOs, and let them visit, some of this example. If you have money, you can go abroad, sir. Ensure a good road and a good location. Okay, that's very important. One of the very important things you want to ensure is that your estate has a good road network, because that can frustrate people when they are coming and they have to go, because it's key. Okay, the next thing is that do intensive marketing for your agri-tourism. See, doesn't matter how beautiful you have made that place, if people don't know about it, nothing will happen. I went on a retreat to a resort sometime this year in Ekiti, southwestern Nigeria. So, but the truth was that I enjoyed myself. Okay, it's very serene environment, very, but I got to know about it because some social media influencers marketed it on IG. So I saw about 2, 3 people were talking about the place. So I just felt that this place must be worth it. So I just arranged, and I went, and I enjoyed myself. So marketing is important. People need to know. what you are offering, that they can come for their parties. That people who are into writing can come and have retreats and just write. People can come for this kind of retreats in your estates. The last thing I want to talk about is good storytelling is a key part of tourism. Myself and Dr. Stephen were on a vacation to a place called Petra. And I'm talking about storytelling and how it's important. So, this is one part you don't want to joke with. You must train people very well to tell the story. See, by the time the tour guide was done with us, we agreed that we are going to come back. Both of us, we decided that we are going to plan another trip. So when people come and they have beautiful experience in your estates, they will go back and they are your marketers. They will go and tell it, and then more people will come. So this same place I told you I went to earlier in this year in Ekiti, with the having at the back of my mind that I've had the Petra experience. So we went to the place and I had a tour guide, and the guy was just dulling. And I was like, these people, you are leaving money on the table. So I had to meet the organizers of that place before and I told them, I said, see, in as much, I mean, it's a beautiful place. Everything we have said today, that's what they did there. Everything. You would be amazed that somebody can go as far as inside the kitty and create something like that. I think I'm done here. Thank you.